Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom from our studios at number 5, Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano. I'm Frema Edunyame. Coming up. Electoral Commission suspends supervision of primaries for the National Democratic Congress amid injunction by flag-bearer aspirants.
You put us back to waste resource. I believe this will be something that even the people who went to court will reflect on and ask ourselves that, is it necessary at all for us to go to court?
Ghana Standards Authority shuts down a local cable manufacturing plant in Pram Pram. Furnace Metal Technology Company Limited for operating under no regulation.
The same company is operating without paying proper tariffs. They are using an illegal connection to steal power from the state. Then, of course, it goes without saying that they would most likely than not be committing other offenses. And of course, we have come here today and we have seen a number of offenses that they are committing.
Over 50 High Court jurors from the Western region embark on an indefinite strike over 13 months unpaid allowances.
We are entitled to not a salary but then an allowance. An allowance which normally comes quarterly. But as for last year, February to this year, we've not been getting any allowances so far.
And later, Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana of the Tamale Technical University chapter withdraws all services over non-payment of certain allowances due them.
The meeting came out with a number of resolutions, and one of them is to withdraw our support for the ongoing end of semester examination.
Now, in our first story, the Electoral Commission of Ghana, EC, has served notice that it will not supervise the National Democratic Congress's primaries scheduled for Saturday, May 13, until all legal issues associated with it are resolved. Now, according to the EC, going ahead to organize the primaries will be disrespecting the judiciary since it amounts to a contempt of court. Citi News' Akosia Ochre has been following the development and has come through with this report.
Flag-bearer hopeful of the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Kwabena Dufour, on May 9 filed a suit against the party following what he says are some discrepancies his team has identified in the voters' register to be used for the elections on Saturday. In a writ filed at the High Court, Dr. Dufour indicated that the party failed to provide the required photo album register a few weeks ahead of the elections as stated in the party's rules. He stated that a partial photo album register was given to his team on May 4, few days ahead of the elections, rather than in March when they had submitted a request for one. Dr. Dufour added that despite his request for a postponement of the elections until a full photo album register is secured, the party has failed to heed his request. Thus, he is asking the court to grant an interlocutory injunction to restrain the party from holding the primaries. But the legal team of the NDC has responded. They described the suit as an attempt to delay the election.
As of 5:30-45 thereabout yesterday, we were served with the writ. For me, this writ is frivolous and an attempt to thwart the effort of the party in the organization of the primaries. That's how I see it. As lawyers, we are trying to use the legal processes available to us to ensure that this application is heard before. So we are trying to ensure that the date for the hearing comes backwards to say tomorrow or Friday.
Responding to some of the issues raised by Dr. Dufour, The Elections Committee of the NDC says it does not think the aggrieved aspirant has
But when we come to the issue of the album, because we are using data from the constituencies, and those data delayed us, and some of them came in error. So we have such problems. In fact, if you take the album, there's a picture album, the register, when there's also the exceptional list. The exceptional list doesn't mean that you can't vote. But some people are taking it when it's a exceptional list, it means that you cannot vote. As I speak, at the time that we were even giving the register, the album, Dufour's name is not in the total album, but it's in the exceptional list. Because his constituency didn't get the opportunity to engage him, to give them the voter ID that you can use to extract his picture. So it is not only Dufour, I'm just mentioned Dufour, and it is also going to affect many of our former appointees. But that doesn't mean that they'll vote, but because the prime data, which is the delegate list, is there, they can vote, because we use that one with their voter ID to vote.
Following the writ, the Electoral Commission, after a meeting with the national leadership of the NDC, released a statement announcing that it will not supervise the party's primaries scheduled for May 13 until all legal issues associated with it are resolved. According to Electoral Commission, going ahead to organize the primaries will amount to a contempt. The elections now hangs in the balance, and the Elections Committee of the NDC believes it has come too far with preparations to postpone it.
If you look at the NDC where we are in opposition, having invested resources in printing ballot papers, engaging police, engaging media, and even renting spaces. Right now we have paid for almost all the sentence we are going to engage, we're going to the elections. So if you look at all these costs and you see a suit without even admitting that it will stop us, if it does, it means that we are going to start the whole thing that we have already started. The party already has no money to run even these elections that we are in. Then you pull us back to waste resource. I believe this will be something that even the people who went to court will reflect on and ask ourselves that, is it necessary at all for us to go to court if we can resolve this thing, so we can save that resource that we are going to spend it. NDC at any given time, when a situation like this comes up, 1 minute we use to spend what we can do in 1 hour, which is 1 minute. So you can imagine what we can do between from now to 10 p.m. today.
But will the camp of Dr. Kwabena Dufour withdraw the suit to allow the party go ahead with Saturday's polls?
At the 4th May meeting, even did not make reference to the letters that Dr. Dufour has written to them, meaning they treated those letters with contempt. Where I said, and the infractions identified, I do not think that we will be able to have the election because of the infractions identified. They will have to fix it.
9 parliamentary candidate hopefuls in Amasaman constituency want delegates to vote for them in the upcoming primaries. The Amasaman constituency is the only constituency with the highest number of aspirants in the parliamentary primaries in the Greater Accra region. In the following report, Citi News' Philip Ni-Late interacted with some of the aspirants.
Until the 2020 general elections, the Amasaman constituency was in the safe hands of the National Democratic Congress. In the 2020 elections, the seat was won by the New Patriotic Party's Efifa Mensah. Well, delegates in this constituency ahead of the May 13 parliamentary primaries are hopeful that they will be able to elect an individual that will be able to annex the seat in the 2024 elections. In the Amasaman constituency, there are 9 aspirants, and they are Samuel Achuforsen, Sedem Kweku Apenyo, who happens to be the 2020 parliamentary candidate for the constituency. Okolu William Kwesi Ahamazi is also in the race. Kwashi Emmanuel is also in the race. And as George Thompson, who was a former Amasaman constituency chairman. Also, Martin Ni Aitego is in the race. Precious Kweku Senafianyo is also in the race. Henry Ni Mabel is also in the race. And Mahmudu Ahmed. Here are some of the aspirants speaking to Citi News.
out of the 9 aspirants, we are very famous, and so the delegates will work with us. They'll crown us on 30th May. Well, I want to tell the people of Amasaman that don't look anywhere else. Vote for Samuel Achiuforson, the number 1. A vote for me is a vote for change. A time has come for us to come together and develop Amasaman. Time has come for us to go back for our lost seats, and the only person who can capture back the seat is Samuel Achiuforson, Alanyo, the number 1. I assure all delegates that vote for me on 13th May, and I'll bring back our seats.
Amasaman has a tribal differences, so it is making us to lose our seats. We have lost in 2020, but me as a person, Martini Aitego, I cut across because my father is a Gan and my mom is an Ewe. So I believe if I'm giving the nod, I can unite both sides so we can win the seat for NDC. I am dedicated. As our former President John Dramani Mahama said, at this point in time, Ghana does not need an experiment, but rather experience. So I am ready. And financially wise, I am capable.
When I was a chairman, I won the seat. I won the seat and left a safe seat. But unfortunately, the seat was taken away because of inexperience, because of a lot of problems. So I think that is what really went through my decision to come back. A lot went into the decision. If you look at those coming for the PCship, none of them is experienced. And we are at a point that we need a lot of experience, where experience comes to play a lot.
After elections, we had some research work done. And then based on that, it gave me the courage that this time around, we can make it bigger, we can make it better. That is how I'm back. Most of the things that caused our defeat in 2020, the delegates are aware. I speak to them, I interact with them. They actually asked me to come the second time. They know what we have done together as a constituency. Since I lost elections, I've been in touch with them. We work together, and we are working together to get the seat back.
Among the 9, we have 297 branches. I know all 297 branches because I myself was involved in the creation of the 166 new branches. I myself was involved. I went through the constituency to make sure that the branch creations were perfect. You can ask all my branch executives and they'll tell you I'm always with them whenever they call me. During the 2020 election, when there's a problem and they give me a call, I move straight to the electoral police station and make sure things are changed in favor of the NDC party. So as for me, I stand tall because I have worked more than any of the other 8 members. When it comes to work, I've also invested more. I've always maintained that we'll be proud when we get an assertive person in parliament, a parliamentarian that will hear his voice and then we'll be very proud of. This is what I present to you. I urge all of you to vote Henry Nichate Mabe on number 5 so that Amasaman will get to the platform that is supposed to be.
Secretary to the Elections Committee in the Amasaman constituency, Francis Nojo, has been outlining to Citi News preparations ahead of the May 13 elections in this constituency.
Looking at the numbers, Amasaman is having over 2,691 delegates, and then also from 17 electoral area. So we have the benefit of getting 3 polling stations, and so we are anticipating that by 2 or 3 we should finish voting, because every area, every polling area, we say let's say 900 delegates should vote in that polling area. So given the space of less than 7 hours, we should be able to finish. We are having an alternative venue in case the weather does not favor us on that day. That is the Methodist Church, so we'll move there. So in terms of preparation, we are done with everything.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philip Latte.
The district court in Tamale, presided over by His Worship Amadou Isifu, has slapped a 3,600 Ghana Citi fine on former National Democratic Congress NDC Northern Regional Communications Officer Hadi Pagzar and one Momoni Osman for assaulting a radio presenter of Dagbon Radio in Tamale. The two, who on Monday, 8th May, were arrested and kept in police custody for 2 days, appeared before the court on Wednesday. The accused persons, who were charged on 4 counts, pleaded guilty to all charges. The charges include conspiracy to commit crime, to wit assault, unlawful entry and threat of death. Now, in some other news, the Ghana Standards Authority has closed down a local cable manufacturing plant in Pram Pram, Furnace Metal Technology Company Limited, for operating under no regulation. The Chinese-owned company was also closed down for operating without certification and for not labeling its products with required information such as product batch numbers, date of manufacture and expiry, country of origin, the name and address of the producer. Now, these serious violations were discovered during a market swoop operation by GSA officers aimed at removing substandard and inferior products from the Ghanaian market. This report by Citi News' Edna Agnes Boache and read by Kwekwedrama Ansa has more.
After arriving at the manufacturing site of Furnace Metal Technology Limited Company in Pram Pram, the Ghana Standards Authority GSA team were shocked to be confronted by fully armed military men. This was an unexpected sight, as manufacturing sites are not typically considered security zones. Despite the initial tension, the GSA team quickly got to work inspecting the company's products. However, they were met with resistance from the staff, who were unwilling to provide information on the whereabouts of the managers. It was only after persistent questioning that the human resource manager came forward with inconsistent accounts of the company's records. After further pushback from the GSA team, they were finally able to speak with the head of sales, who had been away. It was revealed that the company had started sales despite lacking the requisite license, and the head of sales shockingly admitted that he could not provide accurate facts and figures. The warehouse was next on the inspection list, where it was discovered that the company's products lacked important information such as product batch numbers, date of manufacture and expiry, and the name and address of the producer. Furthermore, it was found that the company was being deceitful about the origin of its products, with some labeled as being made in China, Nigeria and Turkey, despite confirmation from the head of sales that all products were made in Ghana. The GSA team finally met with the company's accountant, who was asked about the company's decision to start sales without the proper license. His response was not satisfactory, leaving the GSA team with more questions than answers.
The GSA, maybe I know this because I'm an accountant. So every time they pay for GSA, I know this. So I know about it. Just we are applying for the GSA. So I think maybe after we successfully apply for the GSA, we will start to sell our production. But now we are no sell anything yet.
As the inspection continued, the police team found some Chinese and some Nigerian locked up in some rooms. The 8 Chinese nationals were believed to be part of the management team, and they were, along with the Nigerian, were arrested and taken to the police headquarters in Accra. George N.T., head of enforcement at the GSA, stressed the importance of manufacturers complying with regulations.
These offences, when they are being committed by manufacturers, they are committed in pairs, in triples, and in quadruples. So if the same company is operating without paying proper tariffs, they are using an illegal connection to steal power from the state, then of course it goes without saying that they would most likely than not be committing other offences. And of course, we have come here today and we have seen a number of offences that they are committing where GSA is involved directly. So of course, we will do what the law requires that we should do. But immediately we are going to stop their operation because we cannot let any more of these products leave these premises. We do not know what sort of products they are. You have gone around yourselves, you have seen, you have spoken to them, you have heard their side of the story, as inconsistent as it may be. But of course, we always work in the interest of the consumer, because at the end of the day, we are all consumers. We are all consumers. We all buy cables and whatnot, and it will not help us if we allow some of these things to be done. They can't be done in some of these the countries that some of these people come from, and I don't think that for any reason we should allow it to happen here. And look, especially because we are moving into the era where we are trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area. You are going to get products from all sorts of places coming onto our market. Now, if our products are going to go onto other people's markets, they must meet standards. We must make sure that the products are not only safe to use, they're also fit for purpose. So the work that we are doing, we want to promote trade. Yes, we want to facilitate trade, but we also ultimately want to protect consumers.
This is the Citi Newsroom, still to come. Over 50 High Court jurors from the Western region embark on an indefinite strike over 13 months unpaid allowances. We'll be right back with the details. Do stay.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
This is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us. Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To be prime minister, bank and I'm not say Alphabet City. The pension pay 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
You're welcome back. Over 50 High Court jurors from the Western region have embarked on an indefinite strike over 13 months unpaid allowances they are entitled to. Now speaking to Citi News, the members of the jurors said efforts to get the allowances paid have not yielded any positive results, hence their decision to stop sitting on criminal cases where their services are needed until they are paid.
The Ghanaian court system for any criminal case, including murder, rape, defilement, among others, to proceed, a jury, which is usually made up of around 7 members, is selected from the public swears an oath and assists the court to pass a judgment. These members of the jury, though not paid, are given some allowances to cover their expenses. However, in the Western region, the over 50 jurors at the High Court have declared an indefinite strike over 13 months unpaid allowances.
For 13 months now, from February 2022, you have not been given anything. As jurors, when you sit on any case, you are entitled to an allowance for any case that is suitable for that particular day. So if imagine if I have sat on about 4 cases or 5 cases in a month, and for 13 months they are not paid, it's not easy. Some of us are staying at various places that we find difficult community to work. So we have taken a decision that until the court pay us all our 13 allowance, we are not going to court again.
As for last year, February to this year, we've not been getting any allowances so far. So based on that, we've taken a unanimous decision to boycott sitting.
As a result of the strike, several criminal cases that were expected to be sat this week at the Secondary High Court have been adjourned indefinitely. Lawyer Fifi Bokman, whose case couldn't take place on Tuesday as a result of the strike, expressed his frustration to Citi News.
So far as our criminal justice system has not, effaced the jury system, I believe that government would have to do whatever possible to ensure that jurors are given whatever is needed, or the remuneration that is needed for them to carry out their business, because they being on strike is seriously affecting the criminal justice system. Today, like this, I had a case in court. It's taking some time even to get an interpreter. Now we get an interpreter, we go to court, jurors are on strike. I mean, it is something that we have to look into.
In response, the Washington Regional High Court Registrar, Ernest Sovo, while admitting the allowances owed the jurors, told Citi News their strike is already having negative impact on criminal cases as they cannot progress without a jury.
Seriously, they withdrew their services, that is on the 2nd of May. Monday was a holiday, so they withdrew their services on 2nd of May. So since May, there hasn't been any sitting. Yeah. So as a result, the court is compared to adjourned cases. The cases are controlled by Attorney General Department. They do the prosecution. And so since then, they only can take date. Take date means they take adjournment of the cases, awaiting the possible resolution of their own part.
For jurors here at the Secondary High Court, as much as they would have loved to be here to help in the adjudication of cases involving criminal matters, until their 13-month allowances are actually paid to them, they would continue to stay out of the court. For Citi News, I'm Akwesi Ejenim, Secondary.
Meanwhile, the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUTAG, has expressed disappointment at the turn of events at its meeting with the National Labour Commission over their demand for the government to approve their new salaries. The association laments key stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance and the Office of the President, were absent at the meeting. Speaking to the media, the association accused the government of showing bad faith in addressing their concerns and called for urgent action.
The Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG, threatened to embark on an industrial action over the government's delay in approving and paying of their new salaries. It stated that if by May 12 the association does not have their new salaries approved, its members will wear red armbands from the week beginning May 15 and finally strike on their intended date. Meanwhile, in an attempt to address their issues, the meeting, which included all stakeholders involved, was called by the National Labour Commission on Wednesday, May 10, 2023. After the meeting, JUSAG accused the government of showing bad faith in addressing their concerns. They claimed key stakeholders, including representatives from the Office of the President and the Finance Ministry, were not present at the meeting.
The meeting failed to meet our
expectations. It was our expectation that the solution to the problem we are dealing with, which lies on the desk of His Excellency the President, is what would have been talked about so that the Labour Commission could advise or perhaps order the President to give us the necessary approval for implementation in the month of May, as we all expected. It's so unfortunate that when we came here, we've been here up till around 2 p.m. before we were called in. To our utter dismay, the people who matter so much in this matter and hold the solution to the problem, i.e. the Office of the President, the Ministry of Labour, as well as Finance, did not show up for the meeting. And since they failed to show up, it is sending a signal to us that the sensitivity and the plight of staff of the Judicial Service is not being respected. Our plight is something that is not being considered.
However, the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Amasaman, denied JUSAG's allegations. He added that the Commission had directed the Labour Ministry to organize a meeting with all stakeholders to resolve the issue. The parties are expected to meet again on May 24, 2023.
The Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations was represented by an Assistant Director, Mr. Daniel Citi. And from the judiciary, the management of the judiciary, Judicial Council were here. So, which of the government side? The Commission has directed that the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations should convene a meeting of all stakeholders. That is the members of the JUSAG, the executives, the management of the Judicial Service, Office of the Chief of Staff representing the Presidency, the Ministry of Finance, and then the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. They are to engage under the chairmanship or the presidency of the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations Minister, and to report the outcome of their engagement to the Commission on or before the 24th of May. They are to engage and report the outcome of their engagement to the Commission on or before the 24th of May.
Meanwhile, a meeting between the National Labour Commission and the University of Cape Coast chapter of the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana also ended inconclusively. Addressing the media, the chairman of the University of Cape Coast chapter of the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana, Sunday Sinatra, says the NLC has given the association up to June 21, 2023 to reconvene after it has further engagement with its management.
Subsequent to a declaration of strike by the Senior Staff Association, University of Cape Coast. In the best wisdom of the Labour Commission, they direct that we call off the strike and meet with management for a possible resolution. That's notwithstanding, we met. However, we were asked to report back to the Commission today. And it's still, in our opinion and in the opinion of the Commission, most of the things are so inconclusive. For that reason, the Commission could not have taken a firm stance on the issue and has requested that we go again and dialogue with management of the university and report back on 21st of June.
The Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, TUTAG, of the Tamale Technical University chapter, has withdrawn all services effective Wednesday, May 10, over non-payment of certain allowances due them and the use of unapproved formula in paying end-of-service benefits of staff. The affected services include conducting end-of-semester examination, marking of scripts, and other related academic work. Dainangwan has the rest of the story from Tamale Technical University.
The fate of over 6,000 students of the Tamale Technical University hangs in a balance as their last paper for the end-of-semester exams has been put on hold owing to the withdrawal of service by Technical University Teachers Association, Tamale Technical University chapter. According to members of TUTAG, management of the university has failed to implement the approved formula in the payment of end-of-service benefit, which is stated in their condition of service and approved by the university's council. Speaking at a press conference in Tamale on Wednesday, leadership of TUTAG revealed that check issued for the payment of recently retired staff were prepared based on the old formula. They also indicated that almost all the internally generated fund-related allowances have not been paid. The vice chairperson of TUTAG, Tatu Chapter, Dr. Abdul Malik Bawa, addressed the media today in Tamale.
The formula states that 1 month's basic salary at the point of exit is supposed to be multiplied by the number of years the staff has served the university. And that formula is supposed to determine how much any retiring staff of the university will be paid. But before this particular formula was approved by Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, we had differences with management when it comes to the payments. So GTEC came in at that time and we signed an MOU that was supposed to serve the purpose for the payments until we get approval for our conditions of service. So when the conditions of service got approved, we didn't expect management of the university to rely on the MOU that was previously signed.
He added that several meetings with management to address their concerns has yielded no results.
That compelled us to call our members to an emergency meeting today, and the meeting came out with a number of resolutions. And one of them is to withdraw our support for the ongoing end-of-semester examination.
Students of the university on Wednesday afternoon marched out at the administration demanding answers from authorities on why their exams had been cancelled. The school's public affairs director, Osman Mubarak Abu, assured the students that management is working with TUTAG to address their concerns.
As we speak now, we have just finished meeting with the exam officer to find out how best we can continue with the exams. However, there are indications that we need to do further consultation with key stakeholders in the university to see how best we can continue this current examination. So I'm just informing you to stay calm whilst we continue to engage TUTAG to reverse their current position.
Now in some other news, members of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum picketed at the Finance Ministry for the third consecutive day on Wednesday to demand the payment of all outstanding coupons and principals on their bonds. Now, since Monday, the retirees have gathered at the ministry from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. daily, chanting nationalistic songs, hoping that their presence would put pressure on government to honor the about 19 coupons and 3 principals outstanding. Charles Osukumi was there for Citi News and has the rest of the story.
Today is the third consecutive day members of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum are picketing the Finance Ministry to demand the payments of their coupons and principals on the investments with government. Today's atmosphere has been quite charged. This particular woman, she's been very agitated. We'll try and have a conversation with you. You look very agitated today. What's it?
My 2 cousins, who are both mentally challenged, they depend on our family coupons to buy their medication. This is the 2 of them. We have traveled 2 hours to get here. For them to join these people who are our fellow Ghanaians to picket so that we can have our coupons. This lady's medication alone is over 2,000 cedis a month. Her lab tests, her medical appointments, her psychiatrist to visit her in the house. This lady also has to buy a lot of medication to keep her fit. Is this right? Who do we go to? Who's going to help us? They have been forced to get up early in the morning, drive in trotro, in the heat, to come here today. We got here even late. This is their carer, the lady I owe over 45,000 cedis, who has been sponsoring them because the cost of living has gone high. We want our coupons. It's very simple. It's very easy. Give us our money. We will never come. If you won't give us our coupon, give us our principals. We will do with it what we choose. It's our money. We worked for it. All of us here worked very hard, sweated and toiled. Give us our money. We shouldn't have to come here at this age. Why? You have no heart? Are we not human beings too? Why? What is our crime or our sin? Give us our money. Please, look at the elderly people sitting here. Is this beautiful? Tomorrow I'll bring the school children too. They want their school fees. They want their lolly fare. They want their dinner money. I'll bring them too.
You want the minister to pay your money?
Yes, we want the minister to pay our money. He promised to pay us our money. And he hasn't kept his promise. That's why we are here. In fact, all we want is for our monies to be paid. The finance minister promised to pay us our monies. That hasn't been done. You know, we are monitoring everything because we worked for Ghana. We worked hard. We worked on these same matters. There's no way any of our money can go unpaid and we'll not be able to track it. We worked for this nation. We've served this nation. It's time for us to get our money back. We are not asking for any social service. We are asking for our own money. Please convey to the finance minister the fact that he must keep his word and pay us our money.
Put himself in our shoes. We can't get any active employment. Our children have finished their universities. The government drew up a curriculum for them to study. They have gone through those studies. They have passed their exams. They have come out creditably. They can't get employment. Even for them to, support us. And we have to still continue to support them because they are unemployed. Even those in national service. You have to give them money for transportation to the offices back and where, and some in the remote areas where even we have to, rent accommodation there for them. And this is our life supporting investment that we have made. You are depriving us of it. I don't think it's fair.
Dr. Edwin Animchi is the convener for the groups. I overheard you speaking with your colleague that there's been reports of some 1 billion cedis being borrowed on the treasury bill market to offset these debts. How does that make you feel?
Well, that's what I've been preaching. That look, there is nowhere you can get money. If you say really, government say it doesn't have money, there is nowhere government will get the money apart from the treasury bill market. And as I keep on saying and quoting the president himself, go and borrow, increase the debt levels small. Our monies are not much. Increase it small and save the lives of the pensioners who depend solely on this for their medication. You can't bring back the debt, but you can bring back the economy even if we increase our debt level. So if they had understood it and they are doing it, I'm happy. You need according to news, they need 2.31 billion to pay maturing treasury bills, and they are borrowing. They are aiming to borrow 3.33. So there is a balance of in excess of 1 billion. That 1 billion, if government want to use that 1 billion to settle pensioners, their coupons and maturity that are due, I believe it can cover. That 1 billion will cover everything. I don't think actually government is having come to say this is the amount I owe these elderly people. I believe it's just small. I am saying it is small. If it's big, the government should come and tell us this is the amount. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think this minority group, what government owes them that is due for payment will be in excess of even that 1 billion that they are borrowing now.
It's just past 11 a.m. and it's now time to call it a day here at the Finance Ministry, where the pensioner bondholders have been picketing since 10 a.m. They just finished singing the national anthem. They are still resolute that until government pays all outstanding coupons and principals on their investment, they will continue picketing here. Tomorrow they're expected back. They've not had any word from the Finance Ministry since these protests began on Monday, so they say that they are going to be back again tomorrow. My name is Charles Osukumi. I've been reporting for Citi News.
You're still live on the Citi Newsroom, still to come. Inflation for the month of April drops to 41.2%. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated funds, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yugoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. YugoFlip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
Thanks for staying. Inflation has dropped to 41.2% for the month of April 2023. Now, this represents a 3.8 percentage point decrease from the 45% recorded in March 2023. This was captured in the Consumer Price Index, the CPI data, released by the Ghana Statistical Service on Wednesday. Here is the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna-Enim, highlighting the impact of the main drivers on the increase in the overall inflation rate for April 2023.
Inflation had been rising until January, where it started experiencing a decline. For the fourth consecutive time, the inflation rate for the year 2023 has recorded a decline, with the month of April recording 41.2%. This comes at a time where the country is experiencing several economic challenges, which have forced government to roll out a domestic debt exchange program. The downturn of the inflation may mean a positive outlook for the country as government awaits a $3 billion IMF deal. The disaggregation of April 2023 year-on-year inflation revealed that housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels recorded the highest inflation of 49.0%, with restaurant and accommodation recording the least inflation of 4.2%. Here's the government statistician, Professor Samuel Enim, highlighting the figures for the month of April 2023.
In the month of April 2023, rate of inflation stood at 41.2% on a year-on-year basis. This 41.2% that was recorded for the month of April 2023 signifies a 3.8 percentage drop relative to the rate that was recorded for the month of March 2023, which stood at 45.0%. From a food and non-food perspective, we recorded a 13.3 percentage point difference, with food inflation for the month of April 2023 48.7%, and non-food inflation for the month of April 2023 35.4%. We have seen a much sharper drop from a non-food perspective, as non-food dropped by 5.2 percentage points between the rate that was recorded in March 2023 relative to the rate that is recorded for the month of March 2023, 40.6%, and April 2023, 35.4%. From a food perspective, we saw a relatively smaller drop between the month of March 2023 and April 2023, with a drop of about 2.1 percentage points. In the month of March 2023, food inflation stood at 50.8%, and April 2023, 48.7%.
President Akufo-Addo has charged the new board of the National Vaccine Institute to fast-track the country's drive to manufacture its own vaccines in the coming years. Nana Akufo-Addo said the over-reliance on others for critical vaccines like COVID-19 is not the best. Speaking at the swearing-in of the board of the National Vaccine Institute, President Akufo-Addo said the institute should collaborate with other vaccine-producing institutions to ensure quality is delivered. Sami Uyafe has more.
President Akufo-Addo in May 2021 inaugurated the National Vaccine Committee with the sole objective to lead the formulation of a policy to ensure the establishment of a National Vaccine Institute. In February 2023, Parliament passed the National Vaccine Institute Bill, paving way for the creation of the institute with its board and management. The institute is obliged to lead the production and manufacturing of vaccines to deal with diseases such as COVID-19, tuberculosis, among others. At the swearing-in of the governing board, chaired by Dr. Anefi Asamoah, head of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, President Akufo-Addo says government will give the institute the needed support to achieve its objective.
The institute must also help forge bilateral and multilateral partnerships for vaccine development, deployment, and manufacturing in areas of funding, clinical trials, technology transfer, human capital development, licensing, and assignment of intellectual property rights. The task ahead of you is a challenging one, and it is my expectation and hope that you will be up to it. You have my full support to undertake all that is required to make our nation the vaccine manufacturing hub, not only in West Africa, but also on the entire African continent.
Chairman of the board, Dr. Anefi Asamoah, says the governing board will do its best to live up to expectation.
As a board, our assignment is well cut out for us. We are to ensure the efficient and effective implementation of the key functions of the Institute as outlined by the President. We recognize that our remit is a subset of the broader national vaccine agenda. As a nation, we still have challenges with vaccine literacy, with vaccine hesitancy, vaccine shortage, and vaccine financing. And we pledge to collaborate with the agencies and institutions that have prime responsibility for these areas so that not only do we do our work, but we also help to advance the vaccine agenda. I'm delighted to be working with a dream team, and we pledge to do our best.
Health Minister Kwekwaji Maimenu, on his part, says COVID-19 took a toll on Ghana's health system, adding that more needs to be done to address the challenges within the system.
The negative impact of COVID-19 on public health and socio-economic lives, as well as challenges with respect to global vaccine manufacturing capacity and supply chain, highlighted the need for Ghana to venture into the development and manufacture of vaccines for sufficient national use. The President's vision of achieving Ghana Beyond Aid is aimed at transitioning to a buoyant economy, and the National Strategic COVID-19 Response Plan seeks to build Ghana's domestic capacity towards self-reliance.
Management of Ghana Gridco has attributed the interruption in power supply recorded across some parts of the country to challenges encountered with gas pipes from Nigeria. This, the company says, has limited its operational capacity some parts of the country. Experienced power outage on Monday and Tuesday, which affected activities of individuals and companies. In an interview with Citi News, the corporate communications manager of Gridco, Jifa Bampo, assured of efforts to resolve the challenges.
So we've had a gas supply challenge from Nigeria. That's been the fundamental reason. But it has led to a multiplier effect, meaning that our plants, our generating plants which use gas cannot operate fully. Some of these plants can operate with liquid fuel oil. And for those who can, and for those that have stock, they are able to generate. But what it is that on Monday and on, I think yesterday, we had challenges getting a full capacity of the power supply. And that is why there's been this intermittent power supply. We apologize to Ghanaians for it, because ultimately, if there's going to be any shortage, even if it's for a day, I think we are obliged to inform Ghanaians, and we didn't do that at this time. So really, I think efforts are being made to purchase more fuel oils so that the plants that can't operate because there's no gas can operate with the fuel oils.
And that's how we wrap up. We have more news on our website, citinewsroom.com. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. Many thanks for your time. I'm Frema Eduname.